What's up? I see Darren LeBeau already in comments. How are you, Darren? Long time no see, right?
Yeah.
Well, we see him social media wise, but not active at the same point in time. So, what's up, Darren?
Yeah, and you know.
All right, let's get into this. So, hello, welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Sunday, May the 28th. 2023, and I think there's still a few matches ongoing. I think Ben Shelton is still playing Rublev, I think, Catman currently.
He might have lost to it. Not Catman, Sonego.
Oh, Sonego, that's right.
Yeah.
And they're in a fifth set.
No, he just lost.
He did.
4 sets. He just lost.
Okay. And then someone was in a fifth set, though, just then. Wasn't Ben Shelton in a fifth set?
No, he was 4 sets. And then Nigeria and Rublev, 4 sets as well.
Okay. All right. So real quickly, as usual, we like to start with just a shout out sometimes. And we wanted to give a shout out to one of our students. Well, I say students, she's actually a previous student. And she's now in college and plays at Spring Hill College in Mobile. A wonderful young lady. Her name is Alina. Her last name is Day. Wonderful family, a tennis family for sure, through and through. And she happens to be at Roland Garros at the French Open.
Yes.
And she was thoughtful enough to send us a few pictures. So Carla has a few of them, and we wanted to share those with you. So this is from Alina Day. That is at Roland Garros currently. So without further ado, Carla will show you a couple of pictures. All right, who are we looking at?
That's John Isner.
Isner.
He lost
Big
today.
man lost today. We're going to talk about that.
Here he is, hitting his forehand's kind of blurry. Big guy.
Yeah.
Very big guy.
Kind of a good picture there. Kind of caught him mid-swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not done. Hold on. Here is her at the French Open. Well, not her, but she took a picture of Roland Garros.
I think the light doesn't do it much justice, but nonetheless, the thought is genuine.
Here's her and her buddy.
Yeah, let me hold that a little bit closer. Your arm's a little bit shorter, but that's Alina.
You have a whole bunch of blinds up.
Yeah, it's the glare. Let me shut the blinds, by the way. I
blinds.
just showed one or two more, but I'm going to shut these blinds. I forgot to do that.
I guess she got somebody's signature. And I'm guessing she got, what was her name? Belarusian player. She won today. Shmili, what was it?
I'm not sure.
Belarusian. She is, what's her name? Oh, Skimanovic. Irina Skimanovic.
Well, good for them.
She won today. And then here's a few more pictures of her at Roland Garros.
Oh, that's Alina, yes.
That's Alina.
Yeah, she's happy being there. I know I would be.
And she's like, yay.
There you go.
And here we go.
Last one. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you for the pictures. A wonderful young lady with the brightest of futures. All right, let's start. Since she's at Roland Garros, and you just mentioned the Ukrainian player, let's start with just an off-the-wall topic that has to do with the match between Kostyuk and Sabalenka. Okay, so Sabalenka beat Kostyuk. Pretty straightforward match. Not necessarily breaking down the match, but once again, we have the snubbed handshake. Now, do I need to define what a snubbed handshake is?
Yeah, she didn't even go there and she didn't even shake her hand.
Yeah, there's ways you can snub the handshake, by the way. I mean, you can just not go shake your opponent's hand, which is ridiculous as it is. B, you can go up there and kind of just smack it and look the other way, like some of these young ladies are very, very good at. But she didn't even get one, so why not? We know that there's a now over a year conflict that involves Russia and Ukraine. Not getting into geopolitics, but nonetheless, Kostyuk tends to not associate with or hate anyone that plays under the flag of Belarusia or Russia, which, again, I think most of us agree that that's bullshit.
Well, she had an interview, and they asked her why she doesn't do it, and she explained there's a war in Ukraine, and she said 10 years from now, you guys will be embarrassed and not ask me why I do that.
Do you think that she doesn't realize that it's not their fault that they were born in a particular place? Do you think that Kostyuk has any idea that these people don't really even live there? And surely they're gracious to be alive on the earth in which we live. And that's where they were born. And that's where their families are, or their great grandmothers or whatever. Does Kostyuk understand that these people have pride for an area of the world that has been ongoing for thousands of years, way longer than the likes of, let's say, the United States, that's been around for what, 150, 175, somewhere in there? Very immature of Kostyuk, and we talked about this before. This didn't just begin. She's been doing it for a while. But hey, if that's how you want to be, that's great. But no one's going to particularly like you. Maybe the select few that tend to think that geopolitics is everything, and tennis is secondary to that. But real tennis players and fans, they don't think that way.
I just feel bad for again, it's like, I was telling my dad, who's here this weekend, like, what about if everybody came up to us and said, we hate Americans because whatever, they went to Vietnam or bombed the Pearl Harbor or got involved with World War I, II, and whatever, and every other thing.
Or Iraq.
Or Iraq or anything. I mean, we have to be stupid to do that. Sports is sports. Politics is politics. There's no need for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Stupid. And therefore, I don't even care to watch her or anybody that does that.
Ditto. And also, we know since the Olympics, or correct me if I'm wrong, I think the last major or the first major post the war beginning, that they not only stopped shaking hands, but the major tournaments stopped putting their flags next to their respective names.
Another disrespectful thing.
It's like, okay, so is not putting their flag underneath the name just the way to dot the sentence, like to put the exclamation point at the end of the sentence? Like, we don't already know that people are biased, but now you have to, feed us a bunch of garbage. And now we have to say, you know what? Oh yeah, now I'm reminded they're not from, or they're from there because I can't see their flag. Kind of stupid, right? Shallow and dumb, naive, dumb. And needless to say, the war just started, 15 months ago and change, or give or take. But these civilizations have been ongoing for thousands of years, and just shut them off in their heritage and everything that they have grown up with is really quite shallow, to say the least. Anyway, a big middle finger to Kostyuk once again. Boom, for snubbing the handshake, you dumbass. Show some respect. It's Sabalenka has paid her dues. And
I'm not a big fan of Sabalenka, but I don't feel like she deserves that.
Yeah, come on, man. Grow up, girl. That's why you got trounced, because you're being a little biatch. Okay, second topic. And I have a bunch of topics, and this is in no particular order. But this next topic has to do with the mentality of the serve and the domino effect if we're not making our serves, or double faulting, or having a low first serve percentage, or having only a second serve that's a push to put yourself into a point. Okay. The serve is one of those things that it's a domino effect, meaning that if I'm missing my serve, I become not confident. I begin to doubt myself. Right. So what the moral of the story is the serve is like a lead into a positive tennis experience or a negative tennis experience. Would you agree? Okay. So I do want to speak a little bit of facts for a moment in time. I would like to use our experience as coaches, which for us teaching 23 years, and we've both been pretty much born into the game. So we played for double that. Over the years, especially here in the Southeastern area, we meet a lot of young students that have played the game or paid for lessons. The parents, that is, have paid for their lessons for many, many years. Some of them, multiple years, right? And a lot of these young students come to us and they are still pitter-patting or lollipopping the serve, meaning they're not pronating, they're not throwing the ass off, they're not whacking the ball loosely. They're coming up with the semi-Western grip and just literally kind of pitter-patting it over their head with a flat racket, right? And then they ask us, well, number one, why when they begin to serve, why do they never want to serve? Why do they feel deflated? Why do they continue to lose, right? The serve, at least in this area, is often neglected, whether or not people want to teach it, or whether they don't know how to explain it, or whether or not they're worried that, they don't get them serving quick enough and they lose their student. I don't know. But if we don't have the serve mastered, and there's no shortcut to mastering it, there's no shortcuts. If you haven't grown up throwing a ball, a football, a baseball, or overhand serving volleyballs, and you are taught to just tap the ball in, the problem is once we learn how to just tap the ball in, then when we try to learn it the right way, once we get to the next level and people start creaming that ball we tap in, we get deflated. And then when you try to change it to the correct way, they feel like it feels awkward, right? And then negativity creeps in because they get deflated that, oh no, this seems really difficult. I don't think I can do it. So we motivate them to continue to plod along and to continue working on it. So where am I going with this, and why did this even become a topic? We were watching the Rublev, and who was Rublev playing? Shelton?
No, Jiri.
Laszlo Jiri. Yes, a fine player in his own right, Serbian player. One of the two, and I forget which of the two, but one of them could.
Rublev, I think, was
it Rublev? Maybe.
Yeah, had a hard time putting a first serve in.
And he dropped that set. He dropped the second set to him.
I think so.
So if we can't make our first serve at least 70% of the time, see average, right? It is really, really, really tough to find a way to mentally get back into the match. So I ask you, you have a beautiful game, strong on all wings. You have very few weaknesses. Sometimes you serve excellent. Sometimes you don't. When you don't serve excellent, I have a much better chance. When you do serve excellent, watch out. So how do you feel in your mind as a player and or as a coach when A, you don't serve well, and B, when you watch students not serve well?
Well, obviously, if your serve's not doing well, it puts pressure on the rest of the game. So I know personally, if I'm not serving well, then I have to hit my strokes a lot better, be a lot more aggressive, because I know I'm going to be on the defense from the start. So I think we see with a lot of junior players, once their serve's not working, the rest of their game kind of crumbles.
Falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't hit your spot serving.
I don't play like Kasatkina. I don't know why he always says that.
You have a similar looking game.
Yeah, but I don't play like
their game looks similar. It's similar. Yeah. You do. We've said this for years, and long before we started sitting here and talking it, we used to say it before. It's not that you look like her or act like her. It's that you have the same type of, not necessarily tactical, but you have the same looking strokes.
So let's see this player. Michael Walker sent me a text. He said he has a new favorite player named Arthur Fils. I didn't get to see his match because it looks like his nephew. Let's see. Okay, gotcha. Tall guy, lean guy. All right. He's French. All right. Don't quite look like Sanga, but well, he's kind of thick like Sanga.
He's still playing currently?
I guess he won.
He won his first match?
How old is he? 19? He doesn't look like he's 19.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He looks like he's older than 19.
He's thick. I don't know if they can see it, though.
He's way older than 19. There's no way he's 19.
This gentleman right here. I don't know. I got the crowd, but this guy.
He looks way too thick to be 19.
Yeah, he's a man.
18. Oh, man.
Let's go. Yannick Noah 2.0. But Yannick Noah, by the way, a couple facts about Yannick Noah was not, and this is off the top, Yannick Noah, I think, was the last Frenchman to win the French Open. And by the way, he wasn't a Frenchman. Wasn't Yannick Noah born in Cameroon?
Yes, my dad's like, he's not even French.
Yeah.
So he's like the French player's last real champion was Fred Perry, is what he said. I'm laughing.
No, Fred Perry was English.
It was not Fred Perry. What was it? Lacoste?
Henry Lacoste?
Yeah.
Maybe so. That's a good.
Yes, my dad's like, he's not from France. He's like, he's Cameroon. Whatever.
Yeah, Yannick Noah again. I'm pulling this off the top. I didn't research this. It just came in my head. But I think Yannick Noah was actually born in Cameroon, African, and later started playing for France because of sponsorships and the dollar. But a really cool fact about Yannick Noah, by the way, and Mike Walker, he'll know. And I'm guessing this, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Yannick Noah was the last man to win a major with a wooden racket. Am I right on that? Can someone check my math on that? Was Yannick Noah the last male man to win a major with a wooden racket with his opponent playing with a graphite racket?
So Van Lee says Michael likes him because he's thick. Remember his obsession. And then Van Lee says Yannick Noah has a son who played in the NBA, good defensive center.
What was his name and what team?
I don't know. But
Trevor Noah? No, he's a comedian.
Van Lee, Michael Walker says, my nephew's thick just like him, but he's built like my dad, big butts. So once again, we start here with the obsession, Tiafo. We're going to have the big butt section, the big fronter section. My son's laughing.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And we do, by the way, have two special guests, and we're going to throw them in here in a minute.
Wait, he asked a question for you.
Oh, who?
Van Lee said, Jay, as a Jordan sneaker collector, what is your opinion on Scottie Pippen's comments on Michael Jordan?
Okay, can I elaborate on this? Okay, Van Lee, by the way, thanks for the comment. Not only am I a sneakerhead that collects shoes, I think I'm over So we buy and sell them, but I think personally now I alone have over 100 pairs, and a lot of them I get, and I never even put them on my feet. I literally just look at them. I take them on. I'm like, man, look at this shoe, man. Anyway, I sold 2 pairs yesterday. They're by the door, all ready to be shipped out. Anyway, if you watch The Last Dance, right? Has any of you seen The Last Dance? You know, kind of Michael Jordan's take on, you know, the whole experience. Scottie Pippen was in those, though, by the way. Scottie Pippen was being interviewed throughout those. Throughout Pippen's career, there was always this kind of mindset that he's not getting paid what he deserves, right? At the same point in time, though, there's a business side to everything, right? There's always a business side, and because someone may jump into an ill-fated contract, or they could have done better, or that doesn't necessarily mean that Michael Jordan was an asshole. Now, I do have to look back at the 92, 93, 94 Bulls teams with Horace Grant. You know, Pippen was there, obviously, and then you fast forward to the next repeat with the likes of, you know, Kukoc and so forth, and Kerr. Anyway, Pippen was there, and let's ask you this question. You didn't follow basketball in the 90s as I did as a kid, but
yes, I did.
You did? Okay.
Okay. So that's the only time I followed basketball.
Do you think that Michael Jordan would have won 3 championships in a row, went into baseball, retired for a little bit, came back and won 3 more if Scottie Pippen wasn't around? Or was Michael Jordan good enough to have won 6 championships, 2 3-peats with anyone else at a high level that could replace Scottie Pippen? Do you think Scottie?
No, I think he needed those people. They were a team. They gelled together. No,
okay.
Yes, it was important for him to have them.
Okay, so
I don't. You can't say Michael Jordan won that because of himself. No, you can't win basketball games. Look at LeBron, how much he struggles by himself. Come on. No, I don't care. I mean, look at Golden State Warriors. Don't help me. The guy that. Golden State Warriors.
The coach or Steph Curry?
Steph Curry needs those guys.
He needs Draymond, and he
needs them. You can't do it by yourself. I'm sorry.
Okay, so if you rewind a little bit, I don't disagree with you, but there are certain people that bring out greatness in others, right?
Yes.
There are certain people that bring the best out in you because of who they are and what type of energy they emanate in the locker room.
But that's what I'm saying. They gelled. Had he had some other teammates, they might have not gelled and they might have not done what they had to do.
Okay, well, let's look at Dennis Rodman for an example. Dennis Rodman was the last 3,
they also needed him.
But in the first 3, though, you had Bill Cartwright. You know, so what I'm getting at is Dennis Rodman with the Pistons, solid player, and I think Rodman won a championship with Isaiah and with Lambeer. I think so. Anyway, and there was another guy in there, a big guy that hit the boards. I forget what his name was. Anyway, but I think Michael Jordan had the ability to bring out the best in everyone. Now, I didn't agree with kind of the mindset that Jordan kind of let it be known in The Last Dance that it was kind of, he just seemed to say it was more him.
He can't say that because, again, it's not an individual sport. You have to, it's like when you're a coach and you get a team. You have to place the right pieces, right, to be a winning team.
Yes.
You can't just have one superstar. It doesn't work that way. We see it in examples.
And we see it in tennis.
Tennis, right? You can't have that one piece. That one piece is not going to do it. I mean, it's just like Djokovic. Let's give an example. When he has the right team in place, right, coaches, physical therapy, whatever, physical people, whatever, he wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he doesn't, there's some drama going on. Same for Nadal, you know. It's important who he has in his box. Same for Roger Federer, and same for all the players like Alcaraz. He has a great coach and he has a great team, and that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for Serena, when with Patrick, I mean, she was good, but there were sometimes it didn't work or did work. You know, it didn't work as well as it did before, earlier in the 2000s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to have a good team. What's up, Jesus?
Yeah, and also Zest for Life, thanks for the comment. I'm reading them. He says one of the highlights of these Grand Slam tournaments are these 5K live streams. Thank you very much. We feel the same way in terms of with all of you. What makes these majors better than, you know, catching matches and whatever. It's knowing that we're gonna, you know, chat about them with you. Closing the Michael Jordan thing. Michael Jordan to me is the GOAT of basketball, and that's going to be a very tough thing to overcome. However, I didn't really particularly care for the fact that, you know, I don't think he really showed Pippen as much respect as he should have.
And then now someone mentioned that Jordan's son is dating his wife.
Yes, and that's
fucked up.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
messed
disgusting, actually.
Yeah.
And her part is disgusting. And as the dad, I would have said, son, this is one of my teammates. Like, there's a billion asses and titties out there. Like, you couldn't pick somebody else. Like, I mean, do you really think they're like in love at her age?
Possibly.
She's like my age or a little bit older. You're telling me that you're in love with somebody that's in their late 20s, possibly early 30s? Come on.
Well, we see this from time to time, but the problem is, okay, so let's elaborate on this for a moment. You can as a 25-year-old woman or male be in a intimate relationship with a 40 or 45-year-old male or female. Let me finish, okay? Because there is still youth between them. So so I would say 25 to 35 can comfortably get away with someone 20 years their senior. Right. Mm-hmm. The problem is when the 25-year-old becomes 45 and they're still vibrant and, firing everything up, they're still, let's go. The 45-year-old then is now 65. So now the 45-year-old, especially woman that is still at the peak of her prowess, if you catch my drift, has now got the 65-year-old man like me that's sitting at home asleep at 8:30 and gets up at 4:30 without an alarm clock. Now the 45-year-old woman's like, damn, I still need to get what I need, and this old bozo can't give it to me. Well, so I think a lot of times we get trapped up in that.
Read that comment, what Van Lee said.
Van Lee, she also said on daytime TV, Scotty would smash her 4 times a day.
Obviously, it wasn't about that.
But yeah, I mean,
payback.
But this is what I'm getting at. Is can the 65-year-old, when she's 45 and he's 65, can the 65-year-old continue to smash that 4 times a day, or is it more like four times every 2 years?
Aren't they the same age?
I don't know. You just said they were 20 years older.
I'm talking about Scottie Pippen and his wife were the same age. She said her husband was very active with her.
Okay.
So is it payback because she knows that he doesn't like Jordan, and this was her way to get back at him?
If that's the case, that's cutting below the belt. That's too low.
Like, you could have picked up a million dumbasses.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. All right. Anyway, somehow we went from talking about the domino effect of the serve.
It was more exciting than some of the tennis today.
Yeah, we went from the domino effect of the serve to how many times Pippen's banging someone else. How do we get down these paths?
I don't know. It's
all right.
A 5K show.
All right. So first of all,
right.
before we forget, we have 2 special guests today, and we won't spend a lot of time with it. We don't want to bore you, but we have 5 children, hence the name 5K. And 2 of our children played a tournament this past weekend. The 2 oldest are in college at the Air Force Academy. The middle one, this was like a level 7 tournament or whatever. So the middle one, we didn't play in it because we felt like she could win it left-handed. But the youngest 2 played it, and it was Justin's 2nd tournament or 3rd ever, and then Gabriella's 2nd tournament ever, I think, or 3rd maybe. So both of them, both Justin Jr., our 5th and youngest child, and Gabriella, who we named after Gabriella Sabatini, the tennis player, they both won their divisions, champions. So without further ado, we got this little champion right here below me knocking at my feet. This is Justin Jr. So we're going to ask him a couple questions and see how he responds to his post-tournament win interview, right? Mm-hmm. All right, here you go, buddy. You want to sit here? Don't die here. Okay. Oh, man. This is the way you crawl into your seat, right? All right. So you got to sit up straight here. Okay. And then scoot over a bit. All right. So this is Justin Jr. And by the way, I never believe in not giving credit if credit is, or giving credit if credit isn't due. But he's a good little player. So he's 7 years of age. And I really feel like he is one of the better 7-year-olds that personally I've ever been on the court with. And I've been on the court with a lot of really good 7-year-old players. But Justin tends to think well, hit the ball well. He serves well, good service motions. He can play the slices and dices. He can play the drop shots and lobs. He can hit heavy top spin. He can play one-handed backhand or two-handed backhand. He thinks, he's tough, and he doesn't fade away. Okay? Anyway, Justin, how do you feel about winning? Can you sit up a little bit? Like sit up straight, put your butt back here because you're like kind of sliding out of view here. So, Justin, how do you feel about winning not only this past tournament, now 2 in a row. How does that make you feel, winning 2 tournaments in a row?